Whoa, B. Brian R. Ladies and gentlemen, the new music that you hear in the background is not by me. I can't take the credit. That's by my co-host, my partner, my friend, Brian R. BA, and I'm James J. Train Martin, and we are your co-host for your favorite show for movie reviews, BW Flix, the average movie critics. Man, what's up, brother? And what's up with the music change? And I like it. I like it. I like it. What's up, Sonia?
Yeah,
How you doing out there?
yeah. I didn't like the intro before. It was kind of meh. So I had to change it up a
Yeah.
little.
And we're going to continue changing things up, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a show that's building. We're trying to get all the viewership out there. We're trying to get all you people to enjoy our show. We don't want to make you enjoy our show. We just want you to organically love our show because we love what we do. We love watching movies and we love, yes. And I'm glad you're great, sis. And hope school is going well. And we hope that you enjoy this show because we got two movies near and dear to my heart, and I know my partner in crime over there. I think he loves those movies too. They're very classic movies. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for all of you out there who are out there watching. I know we don't have a lot of fans out there, but I know we. I'm calling it. I am speaking it. I believe that a lot of people. This BW Flix is going to get out there to the masses, and they're going to. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And we ask any and everybody who's watching if you can subscribe, like, and share with the people that you know, and let them know that this is a show that's coming out here that we trying to get you, let you know what's going on, and we're going to start reviewing some new movies too eventually. But right now, we want to get people, and what I've done some research in is getting people to understand that there's a lot of classic. There's a whole library of wonderful movies and trash movies too. Some dirt movies. We're not just going to critique the good movies, but we are going to critique the ones that are just whack, as we used to say in the '90s. That's totally whack. But
Dope
that
and
being
whack.
said, dope and whack. Yes. As a matter of fact, you give me an idea by saying dope and whack. We might start adding that into the mix. If you got any words, anything that you want to add to the show, or any movies like we had Yinzer and Liz add some movies in an email. We got a email address bwflix2026 at gmail.com. You can critique us. You can like us. You can tell us what movies you want to see, and we'll eventually put the movies out there, and we will give the credit to the person that gave us that movie review option or the movie that you wanted to see. So that being said, we got two classic movies we're going to review today. First one is Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. And of course, this is a 4 movie sequel, so I'll go ahead and put it out there. We're going to be reviewing the subsequent sequels next week. All right, that being said, um, let's get some superlatives. And we normally know that this time of the show, my co-host will definitely tell you about what's going on with the movie, how it was made, who made it, and where it was done, how much money it made, how much money they didn't give me at all or my partner. You know, it is what it is. But that
Maybe
being
we'll get the
said,
residuals later on.
yes, exactly. Take it away, brother.
All right. So for the original Lethal Weapon, this came out in 1987. It was directed by Richard Donner, written by Shane Black, produced by Richard Donner and Joe Silver. It is starring Mel Gibson as Martin Riggs, Danny Glover as Roger Murtaugh, Gary Busey as Mr. Joshua, one of the bad guys, Mitchell Ryan as General Peter Allister, also one of the bad guys, Tom Akins as Michael Hunsaker, a friend of Roger Murtaugh's, Darlene Love as his wife, Trish Murtaugh, and Tracy Wolf as Rianne Murtaugh, which is his daughter. Um, we had a cinematography by Stephen Goldblatt, music by Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, and this is a theme that's going to happen through all the movies. By the way, he is one of the music persons that provide for all 4 of the movies. Production company is Silver Music or Silver Pictures. Sorry, distributed by Warner Brothers. Release date was March 6, 1987. Running time was 109 minutes. The budget was 15 million, and it made 120.1 million at the box office.
Yeah, talk about being a major hit. 15 million and you drop 15 million and you get the
They do.
residuals back. Tubi got the what you said the what?
You
The
said
weird
Tubi got
movie?
weird music. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you see, we watch, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, Stephanie.
we watch movies. Hey, what's going on, Stephanie? We watch movies that are the original classics. If and a lot of people get turned off by Tubi because it says Tubi originals, and there's a lot of pun and a lot of crap that goes on with those movies, and there's a lot of jabs at those movies. Rightfully so. I've seen a couple of Tubi movies, and I was like, whoa. And but watch it for the movies that are the classics, the ones, and they put some good. They actually put some movies that come out more recently, and they'll put them out, and they actually can be really good movies. So Tubi is not a bad idea. They're getting a lot of traction. You're starting to see them being sponsoring with like games and different other things, National Football League, NBA. So Tubi is really getting out there, and it's not bad for anybody that's on a budget. I know I am. That's out there want to watch something for free. Don't want to really pay 15.99, 17.99, whatever it is for streaming. Tubi will get you out there. So Tubi, if you're out there listening, we're trying to put you on some game. We're trying to put you on blast so people can know that you're out there, which they already do, I'm pretty sure. With that being said, let's get to the synopsis of Lethal Weapon. Before you is it before or after you want to watch the? I'll
After
go with the
you
synopsis
do your
after.
synopsis.
All right. Yes. All right. That being said, all right. We start off at the beginning of this movie where one of our main protagonists is Sergeant Martin Riggs. He's in narcotics, and Martin is going through a major ordeal. He just lost his wife. She was killed in a car accident, and hint hint. Let's talk about that later. She was killed in a car accident, and Martin is suicidal, and he's very erratic right now. So Martin, he gets moved over into another department of the into homicide, and he teams up with our other co protagonists, and they become buddy cops. We're talking about Martin, excuse me, Roger Murtaugh, which is one of the most interesting names for a black man in a movie in the cop movie. I always wondered about that, but it is what it is. That being said, which tells me that it might have been written for a Caucasian man or brother, and Danny Glover got the part regardless, and they kept the name. And that being said, they're like I said, they're reluctant to being partners. Well, Murtaugh's reluctant to being Riggs' partner because of his background, because of what's going on. Everybody thinks in the department that he's trying to get the pension for being quote unquote crazy, and turns out he's not doing that. He might actually be suicidal, and so they find out that when they go on this particular suicide jump to try to stop it from happening, Riggs, of course, talks the guy down, but he doesn't really talk him down. They just literally jump off the building, handcuffed. And there's a blooper there too. If you notice in the movie, I'm gonna say this real quick. He handcuffs him, but when they jump, their hand separates, and they have to hold hands eventually. So if anybody didn't see that, you need to go back and watch that. It's a blooper. They left it in. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to jump from a 12-story building too many times, into I'm pretty sure there's a major risk there. But again, you see the hands let go. There's no handcuffs on there, and they have to hold hands. Yes, absolutely, it does. It sure does. And I didn't know much about it then as a kid. I mean, because it was more of a stigma back then. But now we take it more seriously. I always wanted to get to. Oh my goodness. Okay, so again, after that,
comedy.
he finds out that he's not trying to get a pension. He's really suicidal, and so he talks to his therapist, finds out about him, and he's not really happy with the situation. But the tension lightens up as he wishes him a happy birthday. Murtaugh is 50 years old, and he's not really happy about being old, and he's considering retiring later on. That being said, they go to try to solve a case of Miss Amanda Hunsaker. You mentioned that name earlier. I'll get into who that is. She presumably jumps to her death from a high rise. Murtaugh, prior to that, gets a phone call from Michael Hunsaker, an old war buddy that saved his life in Vietnam. And he goes and finds out when he puts the two and two together, he finds out he's the parent, and so they go back to him and visit him and find out and lets him know later that an autopsy reveals that she was killed by poison. So had she not jumped, she would have died anyway. So he's upset, visibly upset. He says he owes him because he saved his life, like I said, and once he finds these guys, he wants him to kill him. And he's reluctant, but he ultimately just listens to him and walks off. Both Riggs and Murtaugh attempt to question Amanda's pimp. They go to the house and try to attempt to question him. Ultimately, they end up in the shootout, and Riggs ultimately kills the guy after he tries to kill Murtaugh. And so he dies. They come out of the water. One of those famous lines: "Is there anybody that you haven't killed?" He said, "I haven't killed you yet." He said, "Well, don't do me no favors." That being said, next they deduced that Dixie was a prostitute, was at the scene of the crime of Amanda's death, and she was the one that first noticed everything. But it was too perfect. It was for her to be there, so they deduced that she must have been in the apartment, laid up with her, and she's probably the one that poisoned her. So they went to go question her. The house blows up with Dixie in it, and narrowly they escape with their lives on the front lawn. And then turns out these kids that were sitting out there saw what happened. They question the children, and they find out that there was some big, tall white man with a tattoo on his arm, just like the one on Riggs' arm. And turns out Riggs said that's a Special Forces tattoo. So not only did they find that, they got that discovery. They also found a little device that set off the explosion, and it turns out to be stuff that was used with CIA and Special Forces. So they find out that further and further they get into this movie, they find out they're a little bit more deep into something more serious than what is some hooker or pornography, pornographic. I don't know even what to say with that. Someone that partakes in pornography, pornographic actress. Excuse me. Let's just say that she wasn't just doing that. It was some other stuff going on, and this is where Roger realizes that his buddy called him because he may have something to do with it. It's too coincidental. It's not for too many things to be adding up and being together. And so he goes back and questions him and deduces that he was going to squeal on them because come to find out he was partaking in a drug deal ring of heroin. Yes, a nymph. A heroin ring. And he also was laundering their money, but he wanted to get out. They knew what he was trying to do, so they killed his daughter. And he's trying to get more information. He said, "I got one more daughter. You guys can't protect her, so I can't tell you anything else." And here comes the helicopter with the guy that we were talking about, the blonde guy, tall, white, with a tattoo. He's the guy, Mr. Joshua. He assassinates Hunsaker and tries to kill the cops, but he don't. And he gets away. Riggs trying to shoot him in the helicopter. They get away. That being said, Riggs and Murtaugh are questioning some hookers on the street, and Mr. Joshua, attempts to assassinate Riggs. He shoots him. Riggs goes into a building. Through a window, the glass of the building. Turns out they think he's dead, but he's not. He had a bulletproof vest on, and that's to their advantage. With that being said, Murtaugh's family they find out that something's going on in his house. That he go to his house because they get a call that a description of his daughter's boyfriend. So they find out he gets killed. So they hurry up and get to the house. He gets a message. They kidnap his daughter, Rianne Murtaugh. That being said, they still think that Riggs is dead. So they both figure out they're going to have to get a little dirty with this. Riggs hides in where they agree to meet with his rifle, and Murtaugh shows up with a grenade. He shows up with a grenade. He threatens to kill all of them if they don't let the daughter go. And Mr. Joshua shoots Murtaugh in the arm. He drops the grenade. They run. It turns out to be a smoker. And once the smoker shows up, this is where Riggs start popping off all these guys. Riggs was for anybody that didn't watch the movie. First of all, we give spoilers. If you want to continue listening, continue to listen. But Riggs was a sniper in Vietnam War as a special forces soldier. That being said, he was taking off these guys, but they end up stopping Riggs. General McAllister sneaks up on him and stops him, and the rest of the crew that's still alive, they surround Murtaugh, and his daughter was trying to escape in the limo that she arrived in, and they stop her too. And so they torture Riggs and Murtaugh to try to get information out of them. They thought, which he did, Hunsaker would give information to them regarding their nefarious activities. These street pharmaceutical sales reps were trying to keep their business quiet. That being said, Riggs doesn't say anything, but he does kill the guy that's torturing him with electric shot, and he comes and saves Murtaugh and his daughter. And of course, Murtaugh kills General McAllister and his crew, his henchmen in the car, and Riggs chases Joshua, but Joshua gets away, and they figure that Joshua was going to try to come to his house and at Murtaugh's home. They do. They set him up, and of course, Riggs and Joshua end up having a fight on the lawn, almost to the death of Riggs, but Riggs ends up supplanting Mr. Joshua and chokes him out, but lets him live. That being said, they get up, and as they're getting ready the two cops are getting ready to arrest Mr. Joshua. He subdues them, grabs one of the cops' guns, but they hear Murtaugh and Riggs hear this, and they both shoot him dead. And of course, Riggs and Murtaugh. Riggs comes to Murtaugh's home for Christmas on Christmas Day, and he meets Rianne at the door. He gives her a gift wrapped bullet that has a hollow tip on it, because early in the movie, Riggs acknowledges that to make sure that he kills himself, he has a hollow tip point so that the bullet can go through the back of the head. So that gives you an idea that he tells Rianne that he's not going to need it anymore. He gives it to her to give to the father. Murtaugh comes out and says, "If you think that I'm going to eat the world's lousiest Christmas dinner, you're crazy." He said, "I got a secret for you. I'm not crazy." He said, "I know." So they both go in. He brings Sam, the dog, in. The dog chases the cat, Burbank, and happily ever after. And we always have yes, exactly. We have a video, a short video for this, and we're going to show you this, and we'll get into what we think about this movie.
Okay, the short video is going to be of the moment after he jumps with the suicide guy, and Murtaugh is pissed. So he drags him into this shop that's getting renovated, and they come in here, and this is where he finds out about Riggs and his suicidal things that are going on with him.
You want to hear, man? Do you want to hear that sometimes I think about eating a bullet? Huh? Well, I do. I do. I even got a special one for the occasion with a hollow point. Look, make sure it blows the back of my goddamn head out. Do the job right. Every single day I wake up and I think of a reason not to do it. Every single day. And you know why I don't do it? This is going to make you laugh. You know why I don't do it? The job. Doing the job. Now, that's the reason. You want to die? I'm not afraid of it. I ain't afraid of it.
Here, take my gun. Don't nibble on the barrel. Pull the trigger. Go ahead, pal. Be my guest. Go ahead if you're serious.
You shouldn't tempt me, man.
Put it in your mouth. Bullet might go through your ear and not kill you.
Yeah, under the chin.
Yeah, under the chin. not trying to draw a psycho picture. You really are crazy.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
I'll tell you
Oh
to look
man,
at
that's
it. Mel Gibson did a really good job in that part. The whole part where he gets crazy and you know getting ready to shoot himself or whatever the case may be, but then he calms down and says, "You know what? I'm hungry," and the whole face just kind of goes back to normal, and he just walks out the door. I said, "That's
yes.
a crazy person. That's what crazy people do."
I don't care how many times I watch this movie. That scene right there lets me know that we can all be vulnerable. We can all be very vulnerable, man, in times in life. And you can be, I mean, you obviously you see he's a guy that's been through a lot already prior to getting married. Let's not exclude potential PSTD. You know, a Vietnam vet who's a special forces sniper. I mean, war differently was war back then was fought differently. So we're talking about a lot of guys dealing with a lot of different things, but I mean, I love the chemistry between both those two actors. And let's get to it. Let's get right to the questions. I mean, I always ask these questions. How's the directing? How's the acting, editing, and cinematography? Specifically directing, I thought Richard Donner did a fabulous job with this movie. I thought he tells the tale of buddy cops from the beginning to the end near flawlessly. You create characters, the development of characters. Two guys. You see two different tales here, and you two different tales of from beginning to end of them and how they meet, how they interact with each other in the beginning, how they become like like a part true development of family and partnership. And you just love the movie because it has so many different parts that come to into the movie that creates a build up into a climax. And I really love this movie. I think, like I said, the great backstories on all the characters, linking all the characters together, exposing vulnerability amongst the two leads, uh, present two excellent villains as well. I thought the main villains, the main antagonists in both McAllister and Mr. Joshua was well because Gary Busey, most movies that Gary plays in, he plays these off the wall characters, but he was a stone cold killer in this one, and I had never seen that side of him. As a matter of fact, I think this is probably the first movie I ever saw with Gary Busey. And any other subsequent movie that I saw, he was that wild detective or whatever his guy. He always played the wild guy. Silver Bullet. If Sonya, I know you out there, you love Silver Bullet. When he played the crazy uncle with the Hawaiian shirt on, bought the was the he made the bike for his nephew, and he also bought him some fireworks. Doing the uncle that we love because we know you couldn't get away with things with your parents. He played that guy. So, and he always kind of played that type of guy in most of the movies that I saw him in. But this movie, he was scary. He was very scary as a villain. Like the part when he was in the guy says, "Where do you get that guy? Psychos or us?" When he lights his arm on fire and everything, I was like, "Oh my goodness!" It's like you guys, you're far out there, man. I love this movie. But yes, uh, editing, I thought it was great. I mean, I'll say all my stuff and you can say all yours regarding all this stuff. Cinematography, I love the dark scenes of it. I love how it goes into like daylight and then night, and you have all the different the places, and it's Christmas time. Among all this stuff, it's Christmas time. Kind of reminds you of all this crazy stuff going on, like with Die Hard and Bruce Willis. Probably another
Mm-hmm.
movie we can review at some point. But it's great. I love the fact that it's Christmas time and all the shenanigans that happen. They're tearing up the house, the Christmas tree. That the man's losing all his station wagon is trash. It's like all kind of crazy stuff going on. It's just a good movie, and I thought all those different things were different elements of the movie that was just well put together for me. What do you think, B?
Yeah, I think what good thing about this whole franchise is that there's one director that does the whole franchise. There's all the actors come back for all four of them, so you're not going to get anything bad from this. This is why I really like this franchise because, like I said, everybody is blends together really well. Even the people that come in throughout the movies, in the upcoming movies, I just Gary Busey, again, he's been in a lot of good movies as well, and he's played some. You're right, some odd characters, but he does play the bad characters pretty well, though, when he is a bad guy. And that was one of them. And the fact that they had that whole battle scene on the front lawn with the fire hydrant on, raining down on them and stuff like that. That was a very good cinematography right there. I thought both of them did pretty good martial arts. One thing I like about Riggs, he's kind of like the superhero in this movie, in this franchise, period. But he does get his ass kicked quite a few times, so it's not like it's realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's special forces, but he the element of humanity is that you're not going to always be kicking everybody's behind like we've seen some other superhero type of folks go films and do. So it is what it is. But yeah, I like this. This is a great movie. The original is always a great movie.
Yes. And yes, it's hard to really think of any sequels that I can think of that just outdid the first one to where it was just phenomenal. Like it beat it out. Like I said, one I can think of is probably Terminator 2 versus Terminator 1 is pretty close, because that was just like, but it was made by the same dude too, like you said. So he just outdid himself with the movies, and he waited a long time to make the sequel. So they didn't. Sometimes these movies come out so quick behind each other, like albums. People just they got a contract, they got to put these movies out, and they just rush them. It wasn't a rush job. This movie was, like you said, both movies were great. We're going to get into the second one in just a moment, but I thought this was a great movie. Let's name some. I'm going to give you some quotes from this movie. It's just such a good movie. There's so many things that you can think of, like the one with Danny Glover. He said it a couple of times. I'm too old for this shit. A couple of times in the movie, and you're not trying to draw a psycho pension like you just heard. You're really crazy. And for real, it's just like thinking about it, it's just really good. And then some of from the bad guys. Not the bad guys. That was from Roger Murtaugh. Two from Riggs. Nah, that's a real badge. I'm a real cop, and it's a real gun. So it was pretty fun when they were selling the Christmas trees, and he got pulling out $100 instead of $100,000 for the dope. Well, I haven't killed you yet. Yeah, when Roger asked him, has anybody you haven't killed yet? He said, well, I haven't killed you yet. Of course, don't do me any favors. But yeah, for this movie, I'm going to give it 5 buckets of popcorn. It's just something. Every time it comes on Tubi, I'm watching it. Every time I think about the movie, I'm going to try to watch it. It's just one of those movies I can revisit, and I find something new every time. It's just something I can discover in the movie every time and it's not a bad thing. It's something. It's not. You know how over time some things just get outdated and they get corny. This just isn't that movie. It just seems to be hold up because, again, they have a lot of core things in the movie that you can always touch on, no matter what era in life you're in. That vulnerability, that caring spirit, the anger, so many different emotions in the movie that you just can touch on. Everybody can relate to. But I like the movie. I give it 5, and I'm going to let you go ahead and name your rating, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 5 too. I like the movie a lot. Like I said, the originals are always usually pretty good. And then and this launched, to this day, it launched Danny Glover's line, "I'm getting too old for this shit." And I'm telling you, he uses it a lot in other movies that he's in. As a matter of fact, Maverick, a movie that him and Mel Gibson were in, he said that, and they both look at each other. There's a little scene where this is a Western, so we're looking at each other like, "Don't I know you from somewhere? No, come on, do I know you from somewhere? No." And then he says, "I'm getting too old for this shit." So he has a lot. Danny Glover has a lot of pictures. In fact, in Predator. When he was in Predator, he used that line as well, because he's up there trying to look for the predator. He's going up, down, low, all around. And he goes, I'm just too old for this shit. I don't feel like looking for this dude. So, and it's been used by countless actors and mostly men over the course of the time after these movies have come out. So it's a one of those quotes, and everybody's, to this day, I think even the people of this millennium, this century, know what that means now and who says it. So
Right.
it's a good carry all. But the franchise itself, starting with this movie was really good. We got to see a lot of vulnerabilities between Riggs and the fact that his wife got killed on the way home from dinner that he was supposed to be at, but because he was working, he shares this information with Murtaugh's wife in the kitchen when he's doing that. So
that's part two. Let's get into
anyway.
Let's get into that. Yeah.
Actually, I thought that was part one.
No.
That's when they're living with him.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of two.
Yes.
Speaking of two.
Great segue, brother. That's a great segue. And that being said, let's just get into the superlatives of Lethal Weapon 2, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Lethal Weapon 2. That one came out in 1989, 2 years after the original. Again, directed by Richard Donner, which is always a good thing because you want to keep that consistency going. Screenplay was by Jeffrey Baum. Story by Shane Black and Warren Murphy. Produced by Richard Donner and Joe Silver. Again, starring the original cast, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and we have Joe Pesci as Leo Getz, because Leo's gets when you ask. So Joe Pesci. Hey. I love that about him. Josh Ackland. Josh Ackland as the South American diplomat Arjun Rudd. Derek O'Connor as Peter Vorsted, which is his right-hand man. Patsy Pensta as Rika Van Den Haas, or as Riggs called her, Haagen-Dazs. Darlene Love is Trish Murtaugh. Tracy is Rianne. Mark Roston is Hans. And so forth and so on. Dean Norris is Detective Kavanaugh. He's the one that says, you can read the sign, can't you, Murtaugh? Well, Murtaugh is, not Murtaugh, but Riggs is smoking in the office. And he's like, can you read the sign? He said, yeah, it looks like this one. And I don't give a fuck. That's what he says.
Like you.
So anyway.
I don't give a right, exactly.
Right. So cinematography done by Stephen Goldblate. Again, another guy that's carried over. Music by Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, and David Sanborn this time. Obviously, the sax has to come from somewhere. Silver Pictures was the production company, distributed by Warner Brothers. This release date was on July 7th, 1989. 114 minutes running time. The budget was $30 million. Check this out. This is a sequel. Okay, this is a number 2. It made $227.3 million. It actually did better than the first one.
What was the budget?
The budget was $30 million. The box office was $227.3 million. So it made 7 times what it was supposed to, what the budget was. That's pretty good.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's get into the movie and let's talk about it. For those of you out there who are just watching the show, just tuning into our show, we are talking about Lethal Weapon 2, and we give spoilers. So if you have not watched this show before, if you're out there watching and you don't like spoilers, I'm going to just tell you, don't watch the show. Because we try to let you know, go ahead and watch the movie in a week in advance. That way you can come on, we can all discuss it, and you can leave your comments about the movie and different things like that, and we engage, we interact. That being said, it's 2 years later after the first movie, and the cops are in hot pursuit of Hans. You mentioned Hans. He's in a red car, and eventually he crashes and he escapes narrowly with his life. But they open the trunk. They find what's called Krugerrands. Krugerrands are gold South African coin, and they're chasing a drug dealer, but they see Krugerrands, so it kind of leads them to think, okay, they got to find out where this money came from. So Hans, because he lost the coins, the consulate general, Arjun Rudd, or Aryan, as Riggs likes to say, the Aryan nation, And Agent Vorstad, they kill Hans. And to get the police off their trail, Vorstad was told to give them a warning. So the warning is, ladies and gentlemen, Vorstad goes to Murtaugh's home and duct tapes him and his wife in their bed and threaten them and threaten their family, his children, and just say, stay away from what's going on. Don't try to get too close. And so they leave because they're masked. So they don't know who they are. They just have weird accents. What's going on? What's going on, Liz? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the favorite of this gentleman over here. All right, that being said, um, so like I said, they break into their house, they tie him up and give him a warning. Captain Murtaugh warns both Riggs and Murtaugh. Oh, no, excuse me. He doesn't warn them. He gives them to take them off of their job and give them a break. He puts them on a light duty of a witness protection duty. And this is what we're getting into. This is of Leo Getz. So Leo Getz is at a hotel. They go to Leo Getz's hotel. He lets them in. And of course, he said, like you said, it's Leo Getz. Whatever you ask for, Leo Getz. Yeah, Leo Getz. Yeah, that being said. And they talk to him and ask him why are they in there doing it. Turns out Leo is laundering money for some gangsters, which turns out to be the South African connection there. And he starts skimming money from him, but it turns out he embezzled over $500 million away from them, which shocked the heck out of both Riggs and Murtaugh. And so while learning this, one of Arjun's men shows up disguised as a bellboy to try to assassinate Getz. And Riggs and Getz get into a struggle. They go out the window. Ladies and gentlemen, they're about 7 floors up. They fall out. And to Murtaugh's surprise, he's like, his face is always shocked, just like when they jumped off the building. Here we go again. They're jumping off and fall into a swimming pool. And of course, Riggs is punching the heck out of Getz in the face because he can't really see him because he thinks it's the other guy. The other guy gets away. And Getz, turns out he knows the address of a place that they visited, this house, and they end up going to this house. It turns out to be the house is the place where all the guys were, the South African guys, where they're laundering the money. They're trying to wash the money. They get into a shootout there, and eventually the guy that he recognizes from the hotel escapes into a tow truck. Riggs hops in a tow truck. He's in pursuit, trying to stop the guy and make sure he stops, but Riggs can't get him to stop. He takes a pipe, sticks it in and presses on the gas and locks the guy in the truck. I hope I'm saying that right. And they end up crashing. Riggs falls off the truck and the guy hits the truck and a surfboard comes through the window and kills the guy. And Murtaugh was already in pursuit of them, and they go back to the house. But come to find out, Arjun, Rudd, and Vortex show up as well, and they use their term diplomatic immunity, which is hilarious. And the police, LAPD, can't do anything because they find out, that the soil that they're on in that house is South African soil. So they're immune from any type of crime or anything like that. But Riggs lets him know he's going to be watching him. So what happens is Riggs and Murtaugh harass Arjun Rudd wherever he goes, including at his place of business. And let me see. Sorry. So they harass them, and Riggs, one of the young ladies. Yes, exactly. It's one of the favorite things. B mentioned this all the time about this movie, which is great. But they harass the group, and of course, Riggs is he's always going to have a love interest. He begins a romance with the secretary of Arjun Rudd, and they talk about her boss. She recognizes that he's doing some dirty dealings, or at least Riggs tells her that. And she doesn't like his politics, and she don't like the fact that he's racist, because he calls Riggs and some of the other people Kaffir lovers. And forgive me out there if you're from South Africa and you're watching this, and it's Kaffir, Kaffir lover.
To the N-word.
Yes, I would imagine. Yes, That being said, they again, they let me see. Riggs, Murtaugh, and Leo create a distraction at the council. And what's funny about that, the distraction is trying to Riggs. I mean, Murtaugh. What Leo gets is trying to get his friend to get to back to South Africa, and the guy encourages it until he see that Murtaugh is black. And my favorite line in here in this movie is that he said, "You really should listen to your friend. You shouldn't go to this place." And he said that he said, why don't you want me to go? Because you're black. You're black. And they laugh about that later. But anyway, while they're doing that, Riggs goes in and antagonizes both Rudd and the rest of the crew, and he points a gun at all of them. But instead of shooting any of them, he shoots the aquarium in there, and all the expensive fish fall out, and then Riggs leaves. So now Arjun Rudd says, "Don't just give them a warning. It's time to take them out." So now LAPD, Riggs and Murtaugh and Leo Getz are all under their watch and to assassinate. And if they eventually do assassinate all of the cops that were involved in the situation, and try to get to Riggs and they get to Riggs at his house, at his what do you call those things? His his trailer on the beach. They get to him in his trailer on the beach, and they shoot it up with him and Rika in it, but they survive. You're blocked. You're blocked. You're blocked. You don't want to go there. Why? You're blocked.
Right.
But that being said, they shoot up his place. He ends up shooting back and shooting, and they get away. He brings her to her apartment, which is one of the craziest things to me. Why do you bring her back to her apartment if these are the same people they know where she lives? And he goes to his truck, gets knocked out. They take them both, and then we get back to Murtaugh's place. Murtaugh goes to his place, and he's looking around, and two of the guys they kidnap Leo, and two of them try to kill Murtaugh, but Murtaugh kills him with a nail gun. And Riggs is sitting there, and it comes Vortek admits to him that he killed his wife, and then he antagonizes him by saying she died a slow death. So Riggs is already tied up, and Riggs has a situation where he can dislocate his shoulder to get out of things. Early in the movie, he made a bet with the cops that he can get out of a straitjacket, and he did by dislocating the shoulder, and he got out of it. So they throw him in the water in the ocean. He dislocates his shoulder. He gets out of the thing that's tied him up, and before he goes up, he sees that Rika, her drowned body in the water, and so he goes up, kills those guys violently, the guys that are still up there, and he tells Murtaugh what happened. He's distraught. He tells him that they killed his wife, that they killed Rika, and also he's ready to take out revenge on that situation, on them with that situation, and what happened to their fallen brethren. And yeah, that was terrible in that movie. I'll be honest with you. But Riggs and Murtaugh, they meet up on the road. He stops him, and Riggs has a plan. So he's pulling on the house and Murtaugh goes in, and once the house begins to collapse, they start coming out, and Murtaugh starts tagging him. They save Leo because he was being tortured, trying to get information out of him. And ultimately, those two, the cops end up going to the ocean side with where there's ships, because they realized that there was a name called Alba Varden. And Murtaugh couldn't remember where that came from, but it turns out he looked at the video. That's what he went back to his house for, to see that he took a trip with his boat, and he saw that boat, Alba Varden. So he knew it was a boat. So they went out there, and of course they look into this container that has all the money, but they get locked in there. They get locked in. The container's getting ready to go on to Alba Varden, and what's unbeknownst to us, that there's a Mercedes in there. They rev the Mercedes up. It crashes all the money out and the Mercedes into the ocean. This pisses off Arjun Rudd, or Aryan Rudd, and they said, make sure they're dead. And of course, These guys end up shooting most of the henchmen, but Vortex stabs Riggs, and he ends up beating Riggs down near death. But Riggs grabs a knife, and beats him down and stabs him in the abdomen, and he falls to the ground. Riggs walks away, limps away, and then Vortex gets up. He's getting ready to take out his gun to shoot Riggs, but Riggs has the machine that there's a container above Vortex's head. He hits the button, the container falls down, he kills him. As Riggs does that, Murtaugh calls out to Riggs, but Riggs gets shot in the back several times by Arjun Rudd. He falls down. Arjun Rudd drops his gun and claims again, diplomatic immunity. And Murtaugh, in his true form, says because he put his badge away. So this is like license to kill now. He holds the gun to his head. Points his gun at him and shoots him in the head. He said, "It's been revoked." And of course, he goes down there, checks on Riggs. He thinks Riggs about to die. Riggs not going to die. They both laugh at a few things that happened there, and of course, the movie's ending with their friends, brethren, and like the cavalry coming in. The end. All right. So we got a video for this. Let's try to get the video in real quick. We got short on time here because we got a bio as well. So let's watch the video. Go ahead and show us the video, B.
Okay, real quick, there was a couple of things in that movie that we kind of passed over just to get to the guts of the movie. But one was the scene where they came and hooked a bomb up on the toilet. Or Murtaugh was taking a dump, and he was all alone at home. Fortunately, he was all alone at home, and it was his time. His kids were knocking on the door, and his wife wasn't, telling him to get out the bathroom and stuff. So he was enjoying his time, reading his magazine, and then he looked down, and he looked at his toilet paper, and was like, "Uh-oh, boom, you're gone." Check this out.
I'm gonna have to get some help, man.
Hey, no way.
What?
Man, hey, I'm on the toilet. Give me a break, man.
Roger, this is serious. I gotta tell the bomb squad. I gotta get Jarvis and the boys in here.
Bomb squad?
Yeah.
Okay. Call him in.
Okay.
But Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, call him, but don't use the open frequency.
Okay.
Riggs. Let's try to keep this quiet, okay?
Hey, sure. Hey, trust me.
Excuse me, please. Please,
Officer, an escort is really not necessary.
I know you're a
Excuse me.
psychiatrist, but look, it's not a pretty sight, you man.
Sir, I have helped policemen through some of the most traumatic moments of their lives. Believe me, there is nothing in this room that I cannot handle. I was wrong. Excuse me. Riggs. Oh, I should have known. Where there was one, there's the other.
One of the humorous
Still crazy to me.
This is another thing I like about these movies. They always have, there's two kind of things going on in the movie: the criminal element and then the family element that goes on. And that was part of the family element because Riggs is always trying to mess with him and talking about, I'm not going to call, I'm going to keep it real discreet. Man, half the city's fire department. Damn. But yeah.
And yes, I mean, it's great to see how they became so close. These guys, they're brothers now, and it's just like, because even after that scene, people who didn't watch this movie, you can see that Riggs said he's going to stay with him through because the bomb squad want him out of there. They're putting liquid nitrogen in there, so he only got 1 or 2 seconds to not blow his ass off. And so Riggs is going to help him out with that situation. And I mean, if you die, I'm going to go. And you could see they made eye contact, and one said, "I know." Virtually saying, "I love you, man. Appreciate you." And it was like, wow, it was real touching. Besides having to see a toilet go out of the window into somebody's front lawn.
On somebody's
But that be,
yeah.
Yes. He's like, oh God, I can't hear, man. Get off me, man. I don't want somebody to see us like this. Get off me, man. Get off me, man. But that being said, the same questions apply to this movie. I thought this movie was great. I thought it was great, a great sequel. It was an excellent sequel. I thought direction was great. The same way you're looking at the new movie, you started adding characters. The addition of Leo Getz, it was a great addition, comic relief, I thought. And he had his moments where he was like, he wasn't just a comic. Obviously, he had some touching moments as well. But you like Leo. I mean, he he's in the car ordering the sandwich, and he didn't order tuna. He got the tuna. And it's pretty funny.
Fuck you at the drive-through.
And throughout the whole segment of all the movies, they F it all the way through. But yeah, it's great. I mean, I love this movie. I love the acting. I thought it was more comic relief in this movie, but you saw some of the serious moments, and I like the continuation. The director brought the continuation. The writing was great. To add the segment of the wife dying, you find out how she dies. And it makes it great that somebody was already, that they were dealing with, that they were in the shadows. We didn't know who they were, though. But the South African connection was a whole nother situation. And it just happened to be in part two. And it just, because it's pretty much a continue. I mean, you can almost have a long movie and have 1 and 2 together. That's just how good it was and how connected it was. It was just a great movie. Yeah, and cinematography was great too, as well. Still, again, the areas that they were, the ships, the house, the swimming pool. Unfortunately, the lady blew up. It was the guys in their home. I mean, it was just a lot of great parts of this movie. I can't say enough about it. I'm not going to make it too long here, but again, I thought it was everything: the acting, the editing, the cinematography, and directing was very good.
Yeah, I agree on all levels. I think the comedy really worked well. Again, like I said, with the criminal element that was going on in the film, the fact that his daughter, Murtaugh's daughter, was doing condom commercials,
Oh,
and then they left a rubber tree, well, a bunch of condoms on a tree, and called it a rubber tree, and he even had a laugh at that. He goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't use those. You're too old for that shit." That's what Rick said to him. That was great. That was a great line. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good count. And let me tell you something. Joe Pesci did an absolute fabulous job in this character, because we all know Joe Pesci is the gangster.
right.
I think the other movie that I liked him is when he was the lawyer. But this one right here showed his comical side, and the fact that he can be really, if you looked at his character, it was like he's a little wimp, because he was like, trying to get into things, and people like, no, like they were just strong on him.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a great movie. And I would say it's about equal to or better than the first one.
Yes, and speaking of which, I mean, does it hold up? Yes, I think it's a great, like I said, great continuation of a sequel. It added a great character in Leo Getz. I thought Leo Getz was a great addition to the movie, and a great addition to the whole series. That being said, I give it 4 buckets of popcorn. I know we don't do 4.5 here, so I would like to give it 5. I thought it was just a little bit short of the original movie, but nonetheless, a still great movie.
Yeah, I'm have to give it another 5, man, because I even
Yeah,
think it was
sure.
better than the first one. But
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not mad at that.
again, with the director and the main characters that come back for the second one, and then they add people in there, it just seems like everybody has the chemistry in this. And they even bring back the girl, the psychiatrist that was in the first one too, and she's always trying to find out what's going on in Riggs' head. And
Yes.
to me, she didn't look like she knew how to do her job very well, to tell you the truth. But whatever. Paranoid Danny Glover in the first one, Murtaugh in the first one, talking about, oh, he might go off at any damn time, and he might take you with him and stuff like that. I'm like, man, come on, don't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that to nobody's partner, or telling them that. Yeah, I got
Excellent. Awesome. Yes. All right. So great movie. We got 2 more to go in that regard, but we're going to talk right now. We're going to talk about a bio of One of the actors, Danny Glover. Danny Glover was born July 22nd, 1946 in San Francisco. He is an actor, producer, political activist. He's been married twice and twice divorced. He's got one child. As a young person, he had epilepsy. But he hadn't had a seizure since age 35. And Danny Glover is 80 years old, so good for him that he hadn't had that. He went to San Francisco State University in the 1960s, but did not graduate. He later studied and trained at the Black Actors Workshop of the American Conservatory Theater. And despite having stated himself that he had dyslexia, despite having that, he's going on to have a brilliant career. His breakthrough was before his breakthrough, he started in 1979. He was actually in, which I saw that movie, but I don't remember him in there. But he was in Escape from Alcatraz with the starring Clint Eastwood. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember him in it?
Yep.
I gotta go back and look at that. I saw it one time, so it's on Tubi. So I'm gonna go back and watch that movie. That being said, I've only saw it once. It is good, but I need to watch it again. I just don't like too many prison movies. Man, his breakthrough was in 1985 when he starred as an excellent portrayal as Mister in Color Purple. In the same year, he was also in Witness and as Lieutenant James McPhee and Mal in Silverado, which I thought both those movies were great. He would then cement his legacy as the character Murtaugh or Roger Murtaugh in Lethal Weapon. And of course, he had subsequent stints in the movies in 1989, 92, and 98 in all those movies. He also received an Emmy nomination for his portrayal as Nelson Mandela in the same name, Mandela, in 1987. He earned top billings in the blockbuster Predator 2, if you remember that, in 1990. He was in To Sleep with Anger in 1990 as well. He was in Grand Canyon in 91, Bofa in 1993. His directorial debut was in the 94 in the movie Override. He was also in Angels in the Outfield in 1994. He even lent his voice to acting in The Prince of Egypt in 98, Ants in 1998, and Our Friend Martin in 1999. He was in the movie, Freedom Song in 2000. He was in The Royal Tenenbaum in 2001. He was also Detective David Tapp in Saw in 2004. I can't believe Saw came out in 2004. Wow. Sorry to Bother You. He was in 2018. Last Black Man in San Francisco in Indy in 2019. He was also in Jumanji: The Next Level with Kevin Hart and The Rock in 2019, Dwayne Johnson. And he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, for those of you who don't know. Him and his family are managing right now, but at 80 years old, he's been done. So my prayer go out to you, Danny Glover, and I salute you, sir, for all the great things you've done and contributed not only as an actor, but as an activist as well. We appreciate you, sir. So that being said, we have two other movies that we will be talking about next week. And as we mentioned before, they are the subsequent sequels in Lethal Weapon 3. And yes, that's okay. I think the viewers know. Lethal Weapon 3 and Lethal Weapon 4. That being said, yes, this is one of them, right? Yes, we can do a redo. Deja vu. That being said, anybody out there, if you don't know, watches BW Flix and the Average Movie Critics on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. If you got any questions, you got any critique or anything you want to leave, any movies you want to leave it down in our email, bwflix2026@gmail.com. Again, that's bwflix2026@gmail.com. And please like, share, and subscribe. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook. Where else do we show? Is those two? Just those two? Live?
Facebook, wherever people share us to, too. So they can
wherever people share us.
I'm sure Sonia, when she shared us, we were on a bunch of platforms too. So.
Yeah, so we're live, but you can also watch us on YouTube on the Mac McGrath podcast. Please, thank you. And we love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. God bless.
Get that money, get that pain. Like them dollars, get your head in the game. Get that money, get that pain. Like them dollars, get your head in the
Mm-hmm.